This video is sponsored by Blackmagic. Games Workshop is a prolific games company and they churn out new products for their IP at a blistering rate. From full-scale battle games to boxed board games, Games Workshop do it all. Today they sent us their latest expansion for the game Warcry, a skirmish combat game set in the worlds of Age of Sigmar. This one really piqued my interest because I bought into Warcry when it first came out. I've got plenty to say about it, both good and bad, so let's get into it. The box that is coming out this week is called Hunter and Hunted. It contains a bespoke warband of ogre gorges facing off against a hunting pack of new Cities of Sigmar models. Besides the 5 large ogres, there are 7 humans, 5 dogs, and a Moor Pit terrain piece. We've also got a booklet covering rules for the expansion and all the reference cards for each faction. Finally, the box contains a board for playing games on, which we will promptly ignore because we have the Skylands. Now, the reason we're building up all of these models today is we're gonna play a game. To actually talk about it, we need to experience it fresh in our minds. But while the models themselves are going together nicely, I think it's worth mentioning my feelings on the contents of the box itself before we get ahead and play that game. The box has some serious pros and some notable cons. For starters, every model in the box is brand new and very, very nice. I think many agree with me when I say these are the nicest Cities of Sigmar infantry in the entire range. The Hounds and their Masters theming is excellent, the poses are fantastic and evocative, and they go together well. However, the models themselves are the standout of the box. The Moor Pit is actually a very awkward piece of terrain. It has a huge footprint but is very textured, making a swathe of your board basically impassable. With that said, how does it play? So my recollection of playing Warcry is one of having a whole lot of fun, but locally we don't have a big community, so I haven't really been able to play it. It's been years though, and I'm just going to grab this box that we've started assembling and play a game and see if Warcry holds up today. But to do that, Murray's gonna play with me. Murray!
I'm here.
So we're gonna have a quick brush up of the core rules, which are free to download online. I'm playing the Wild Corp Hunters because Cities of Sigmar. You're playing the
ugly people.
The Flesh Eater Courts wannabes, the ogres.
Yeah, the Crypt Horrors.
This isn't a battle report. We're going to be using this experience as a vehicle to tell you something with a bit of authority. I think it would be good that if we're going to talk about these games, we should actually have played them recently.
But do let us know in the comments if you would like to see battle reports on Warcry and other smaller scale games like that.
And if you would, we could film it and get it to you in 2 to 3 years. What is Warcry? Well, it's a skirmish combat game set in the Age of Sigmar universe. The focus of the game is fast-paced, brutal combat with dynamic, fun missions that feel different every time. Each faction is made up of models with differing niches, and you can build your warbands up to 1,000 points however you like. It features alternating activation, so players go back and forth selecting models to activate, and contains a very interesting initiative system. You have a pool of dice to roll with doubles, triples, and quadruples, powering your abilities, and singles granting you that higher initiative. This means there's often no perfect option, and any combination of dice rolled leads to different benefits. And that's one of the things I love about it. Games are fast, with deployment, terrain, and objectives, and twists being randomly drawn, and then the game played out over 4 rounds. Uniquely, you are also tasked with splitting your force into 3 groups, and random missions telling you how and when to deploy them, adding a hugely dynamic element to how your faction plays in each game. So how does this differ from Kill Team and Necromunda? Both Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar both have skirmish games, Kill Team and Necromunda for 40k, and Warcry and Underworlds for Age of Sigmar. However, they couldn't be more different. Despite a suggested lean towards simplicity, often the only thing that makes Kill Team and Necromunda simpler than 40k is a lower model count. With fairly complex rules interactions, stratagems, equipment, objectives, and a focus on campaign play, both Necromunda and Kill Team can be deceptively complex to get into and play. Something I remember from Warcry is how cool the random missions are. Generating them with a couple of cards is super fun, and the tactics of having split our warbands into little groups and not entirely knowing when they'd come onto the battlefield as you determine that after splitting them. It's really cool. So we've got a dynamic, fun mission. I've got to kill Murray's leader, who doesn't even come on the board until turn 2, and I've got to not have most of my warband die. There's also a cool twist, because it's random deployment, random mission, random terrain, random twist. It means for a lot of quick fun. Warcry manages a masterful simplicity that is truly easy to enjoy out of the box. It's easy to jam models on the table, roll dice, and enjoy the chaos with Warcry, whereas there is a barrier of administration to the 40k games. Underworlds is also notable notable here in being so far from a war game that it's almost a mix between board game and Magic the Gathering. What both Age of Sigmar games feel like they nail is a sense that they're built as a game first rather than a skirmish port of 40k. Necromunda is beloved by many and with good reason, although you'd be lying to yourself if you said it was easy as pie to dive into. It's a journey, often a worthwhile one, but it is a journey. Whereas both Underworlds and Warcry are extremely easy to play straight out of the box with just the models built as you receive them.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oof. 15 inches range, and I need 4 5s and 6s. That's a 6, so he does a crit, so you just take 3 damage. Yeah, that's a hit. So I do 2 damage, but then because of my doubles, you take another 3 damage.
Okay.
So the doggy is biting you. Good boy. Good boy. Get the ugly monster. That was their first action. They're going to attack you again. Woof. Doggy gets 2 more hits, doing 2 damage each. So that's 4 more damage. That's 9 damage.
Wow.
A particular strength of Warcry that is now being carried across to 40k kill team is the unique models. Both Underworlds and Warcry offer this amazing view through the looking glass at similar or more niche factions. Then they create bespoke kits containing amazingly dynamic models for those factions. When we look at Warcry, it feels like these factions were designed to be interesting teams for a game and then given rules to be played in mainline Age of Sigmar. I'd love to see this attitude carried across to the 40k games. Kill Team has recently been releasing lovely niche factions, but many feel more like 40k releases disguised as Kill Team ones, rather than the other way around from a design perspective. For example, the Cities of Sigmar warband that I'm playing today is a nightmare of an Age of Sigmar war scroll. We have 7 models, 4 dogs added to the squad, a character with a dog on his base, an arbalast, and all of these different weapons models that all should do different things. It seems really obvious they were much more interested in creating a thematic and dynamic Warcry faction that evoked a hunting party chasing after beasts than they were making a nice simple squad for Age of Sigmar. Murray, as usual, I'm bullying you.
Yeah, as usual. You've killed a person with no ranged attack.
Turn 1, my little doggy came in and did a big bite, but actually I got 3 crits with my swordsman and it did so much damage. But I love that Warcry is fast, and we're gonna go to turn 2. There's only 4 battle rounds, so we've been playing for what, like 5-10 minutes have we been learning how to play?
Yeah, I was expecting the crossbows to be the dangerous thing, but you just shanked me for like 16 damage.
Even though I consider Warcry and Underworlds ahead on unique design of all the small box games, Necromunda, Warcry, Kill Team, and Underworlds lead Games Workshop's entire range for constantly delivering interesting model releases for painters and collectors. You'll struggle to find a single box with more dynamism than Warcry.
Alright, so my starving guy is going to attack the big guy. He's been eating well enough, and the ogres are very jealous of that, so he's going to be the first to die.
Alright, let's see. You've used an ability, you got more damage, attacks or whatever.
I need 3s. I got a 3. It's something. I'll grab another die. Roll again for a second attack. Another hit.
You roll like garbage.
Yep.
I've said many praises for Warcry over the course of this video, and as mentioned, I did buy into it when it came out. It's true, I have been a fan of the game since it launched. However, it definitely isn't without its faults, and I'd be remiss not to give some criticism of some of those. Warcry was a game of chaos warbands fighting gladiatorial battles outside Archaon's fortress to earn his approval. This is a great concept narratively, but a very closed one from the perspective of collectors. Sticking to this design philosophy would hem the game to a single location in the setting, limiting its appeal to a broad audience. And this appeal is vital for the survival of any new game. One of the best decisions they've made with Warcry recently was moving from this original focus to a more global game, introducing unique model kits for a wider range of factions such as Cities of Sigmar, Seraphon, and more to widen the appeal to many more players.
And so my turn is over and you get to move everything else.
I love Warcry.
My tactic was to move as quickly as possible towards you because I assumed that you would scream with the dogs and then pepper me with crossbows. Turns out all you needed is one guy with a shiv and a dream.
This guy, he's just gonna move forward and I may as well use those bows that I have. So he's gonna fire 2 hits, that's 4 damage. No, it's 2 damage, Murray. The crossbows are really weak, that's 2 damage.
Wow, I got you baited.
So I want to take a moment to talk about our sponsor, Blackmagic. If you're into cinema, filming, or want to be a YouTuber, Blackmagic have a bunch of solutions for you. One that all our editors use, of course, is DaVinci Resolve, which is a completely free editing program with amazing color grading software, easy cuts in the Cut tab, special effects in the Fusion tab, and Fairlight for clean audio. But if editing isn't your jam and cameras is more your thing, well, a huge amount of what we do at the studio is only possible thanks to Blackmagic's cameras. The Tabletop Time rigs all use Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4Ks, as well as Micro Studio 4Ks on our different setups. We also use Blackmagic Video Assist monitors so we can see our pretty faces while we talk to the camera. But at least Jan can. I can see my mug. Blackmagic have solutions all the way up from hobby YouTubers to professional cinema productions, and I encourage you to check them out. They're a huge support to the channel and provide a whole bunch of equipment to us. The links are in the description if you're interested, and at the very least, you must try DaVinci Resolve. Get away from the competitors and try DaVinci. It's really fantastic. But much like DaVinci's repeater crossbow, I'm going to fire bolts into Murray and smash him in this game of Warcry. So I'm remembering what I like about Warcry, and what I like about it is it's fast and it's fun, and when things go badly you can play another game. We've been playing for maybe 20 minutes as a first game in years, and the game's half over. Start of battle round 3, 2 of your ogres are coming in. We got a nasty twist that's going to mean Murray probably loses because I have to kill his leader to win, and his leader got debuffed by the twist. Who cares? It's fast, it's fun, whatever.
All right. Let's go.
But then there's balance. Balance was such an awful problem at the start of Warcry's life that it is this single thing that killed the game at my local store. At its original launch, Warcry boasted 6 unique Chaos factions, and out of the box, each played gorgeously with one another. The games were fast, fun, and fair, and everything we've covered in this review. However, this didn't take long to change. Keen to give the game a try with a low buy-in investment, players grabbed the card packs that had been released to enable players to use models from Age of Sigmar armies they already had. Goblins, Stormcast Eternals, you name it. However, the balance of these cheap add-on card packs was awful. Players would quickly find themselves completely routed by weapons and tactics they had no counter to. The original Stormcast heavy crossbows one-shotting almost any model on the board, for example. These card packs were dead cheap and many people got on board, but consistently for us the story was the same. Those that had invested in Warcry properly were repeatedly being trounced by the dabblers, turning the biggest supporters away from the game. Both of these issues, however, paled in comparison to the big one, the elephant in the room, which is price. Warcry starter boxes blew price expectations out of the water at their time of launch, matched only with the huge cost of Titanicus when it came out. Warcry was untested, and on its maiden launch the core box was hugely expensive, coming in at close to $300 Australian. It was packed with terrain, models, tokens, dice, and more, but such a hefty price tag for a game nobody had played kept many players away. Rather than creating a cheaper entry point for the game, Warcry would go on to double down on this strategy, continuing to release jam-packed boxes at higher and higher prices. As one of the simplest wargames Games Workshop makes, with the quickest pathway to fun on the table, it is one of the most hostile to new players, young players, parents with an interested child, etc. This hasn't particularly changed in recent years, although the latest starter box does in fact allow a cheaper entry point to the game. The warbands you get to field in that are actually not big enough to field in regular games, only in the starter set. So it's a bit of a halfway attempt at making it accessible. But despite all this, over the course of this video, I had forgotten just how cool Warcry could be. I often find myself lacking the time to play a full game of 40k, which can often take 2, 3, or even 4 hours, especially if beer and pretzels are involved. So a game that you can smash down a mission and fully play in anywhere between 25 to 45 minutes is a real blessing, and seeing so many cool painted models that are all custom and unique and factions that play completely differently adds to the feeling as well. So from my personal opinion, from the standpoint of pure fun and that balance of time commitment versus joy gained, I have to say that Warcry is currently my favorite game that Games Workshop makes. I don't play it that often, but I've got to say when I do, it's a lot smoother an experience than anything else. I have a lot of love for niche systems, Heresy being my other favorite. As I said, games that can take many hours to play, Warcry just scratches that wargaming itch really cleanly. But it wasn't my first game today, it was Murray's. So let's see how it all finished up and whether he liked it or not. Murray, this is where I attempt to slaughter you with bullying. So I used my wildcard point to seize the initiative from you. I'm gonna be going first. We've all deployed. There's ogres everywhere, but I just have to kill him to win. I'm gonna activate a triple ability, Trailblazer's Might, which means this guy, he crits on 5s until the end of the turn. You wouldn't dare. So I'm gonna attack twice into your leader. 3 wounds and a crit.
You know, you're allowed to miss occasionally.
Followed by 2 crits and 2 misses. So, sir, he deals 14, 16, 18 damage with his turn.
Ooh.
How much health do you have left?
4.
Almost gotcha.
2 crits.
And 2 hits.
Total of, let me see,
22
14. Oh yeah, because that one hit as well.
This guy
How much health have you got?
has 12 health.
Woohoo! I killed a small human! Ah!
Alright, we just finished and I got absolutely smashed, but I don't really care because we did a game in 30 minutes and we could just start again if we wanted to. My first game, I learned a lot. I know what I could do differently now, and I'd give this another go. In fact, I want to try the factions. That looks really cool.
So we've shared our thoughts and experiences over this video with the backdrop of us playing Murray's first ever game of Warcry. I've got to say it's everything I remembered it. I'm surprised I don't play more of these games. And I think they stand out, Age of Sigmar, both Warhammer Underworlds and Warcry, as some of the best games that Games Workshop produces. And by that I mean the game. It's fast, it's fun, it doesn't need to be amazingly balanced because you can just play again. The factions all feel different. You get to have a bunch of fun. The models, bespoke and gorgeous. Each faction looks cool. This is really fun.
Dave is a poopy man who rolls well, but I don't mind because I just lost to some of the coolest models that Games Workshop has made so far.
Doggies. Yeah, these are gorgeous. It's like a Mordheim warband. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks to Games Workshop for sending us the kit so we could check it out. I've wanted to play Warcry again for years and just have never had someone to play it with or the group to play with. So it's been fun.
Yeah, rest assured that there will be more Warcry stuff that at least we do individually. You'll see it.
Yeah, it's sick. All right. Thank you for watching. Murray, hopefully I've convinced you to get a Warcry warband to play me with.
Yes.
And a final thank you to Blackmagic for supporting our studio and sponsoring this video, and to all our wonderful patrons. Without you, we couldn't do what we do and make 2 videos a week. If you've liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you see more of it in your feed. Thanks for watching.